Hello student, today in this module I have explained about the democracy in Bangladesh. So in this module I have explained and analyzed the factors or you will learn from in this module from that what are the structure of Bangladesh government and how our Bangladesh get independence and what was the story behind the independence of Bangladesh and become a multi-party system country as a representative democracy. So right now we have to know about this. In my previous video I hope you all get understand about the structure of the Pakistan, the military structure of the Pakistan, as well as you get also know about the Pakistan and military Indian conflict. So in this module I have explained about the democracy in the Bangladesh. So now let's see that what are the democracy. So let's see that what's in our topic. Now we have to know here about the Bangladesh and its political and governmental structure. So as you all know that Bangladesh, it was the part of the Pakistan which was known as the East Bangladesh before 1971. That means from 1947 when India and Pakistan after the two nation theory, when both the countries both the areas which I said that where the Pakistan and India both the provinces are divided, and in that part also one of the other province which is also separated from India, and that is the part of towards the Bengal side, and that is known as the East East Pakistan. So it was the part of the Pakistan which is after 1971 which is known as the Bangladesh, but before that we know it as East Pakistan. So if you see the map from this you will understand that how it is going on. See, if you see that this part which I am talking about, it is known as East Pakistan in 1947, and this part is known as the West Pakistan. So you all get an idea that when our country that was divided into two parts from the two nation theory, which you also in your first part 2 book, that is the challenge of that is the challenges of India. In that part you get to know about the two nation theory. So here we have cleared about that in 1947 there is a two part of Pakistan, one is known as East Pakistan, that is the part of this one, and another is known as West Pakistan. But this scenario is totally changed. This scenario you have seen in 1970. In 1971, means after the war of 1971, where the in the previous video only you have get understand that how in the Pakistan how India fought with there is a war arises between the India and Pakistan during when the India tried to help out the Bangladesh, when the Bangladesh need help. So from that the stories behind this about the becoming a country from East Pakistan to Bangladesh, here we have to know. So this is a map. The lower one is the map of the Bangladesh after 1971, where we have seen that this part is right now known as Bangladesh, and this part which is previously is known as West Pakistan, it is right now known as Pakistan. So in 1971 this part somehow became from the East Pakistan to Bangladesh and get independence with the help of the India, and it is get independence from which country? From the its own part, that is the west part, that is which is known as right now the Bangladesh. So from the map I hope you clear about this, the the map, the areas which is known as East Pakistan and which right now is known as Bangladesh. So basically you know that it was divided from the provinces of the Bengal and Assam from the British India. See again if you look that that the areas. So you all know that this part of Bangladesh it is belongs to Bengal, and this part of Bangladesh is belongs to Assam side. So for that reason it is said that it was divided from the provinces of Bengal and Assam from British India. And during the time of when the British was that captured our country. In that timing, the Bengal and Assam and Bangladesh, East Pakistan, that is somehow it is belonging to one particular province or area, but after it's divided, then in this part there is a West Bengal, and in this part of India is belongs to Assam, and in the middle of it belongs to Bangladesh. So from the British India also it was divided. Now the dominance of West Pakistan has begun upon the East Pakistan by imposing Urdu language as official one, as East Pakistan is a Bengali language. Now why this kind of protest, or why this kind of for the independency they start doing the movement, as though both are the part of one particular country, then why it's needed to become protest or to become a doing the movements, or they wanted to be independent. Now that is the first most important reason was behind this, that the Western Pakistan, that means that this part of the portion here, this part of the portion, they are officially declared that in their country the Urdu will be the that is the official language, and now they wanted that the language which they declared as their official language also be imposed here, that is in the East Pakistan, as it is also a part of the West Pakistan. So for that reason, this is the main reason why the East Pakistan peoples are very much they are not accepted the West Pakistan, because the East Pakistan, they have their own culture and they have their own language, and that is related to Bengali. As you know, this is the province area or the neighborhood area of West Bengal, and previously it was connected with that and divided from the Bengals and Assam region. So for that reason, East Pas are totally, they are belong to the Bengali language. They are preferring to or they are talking as a Bengali language, and when the West Pakistan are imposing their language upon the East Pakistan, and they declare that Urdu should be their national language as well as in East Pakistan also, and that is the reason why the peoples of East Pakistan, they don't like to be under the West Pakistan. So by this way, this is the first reason where that they start not liking the West Pakistan's government also. And after that, soon they began protest against the unfair treatment meted out of their culture and language, as they starting, because you all know that our culture, our language, that is somehow every human, they have sentimentally attached with with their language, with their culture, with their customs. And if someone is imposing the others' cultures or other something upon them, and that is somehow is not acceptable by any human beings. So for that reason, when the West Pakistan are imposing upon the East Pakistan to impose their Urdu languages and their Islamic cultures, their Urdu culturalism over the East Pakistan, who are following the Bengali language region, who is known as the Bengali language region, as well as whose culture is belong to Bengal. So they are not at all are liking this kind of thing. So that is the reason, that is the first step from where they start beginning protest against the this kind of unfair treatment, this kind of unfair illegal that domination. Now we have to know that after when it was started that the protest, then in that protest, this person which you have seen in the picture is a very important one, who are playing a very important role played during this protest. So let's see by how this one things will be happen. This person is known as Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. He was a he was a very popular, famous struggle against the West Pakistan domination. He always tried to struggle, he always tried to protest against the dominations of the West Pakistan, who are imposing every rules and regulation illegally towards the East Pakistan, and they dominated the East Pakistan people. So Sheikh Mujibur Rahman are not like at all, and they try to, that protesting against that government, and they demanded for fair representation in the administration. He wanted that there should be a proper election method, so that maybe the East Pakistan people are not like the West Pakistan people, then they can choose their own representatives. So for that reason, the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman demanded the representation should be fair, so that in the administration everyone get a chance who deserve most. And not only that, as well as the fair share in the political power. The political power should be shared equally among all the representatives, among all the nominated people, so that everyone get a chance, and they will ruled out that the part where the peoples get them, where the peoples like whom that person should be coming as an administrative in that part only. So as because the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman is hardly tried to get into the administration and to capture, or to govern the east part of the Pakistan, because first of all he know that the peoples don't like the Western Pakistan dominations, and he also be one of the administrative over the East Pakistan, and for that reason he demanded the autonomy for the eastern region. He always tried to protest against the West Pakistan domination, and try to wanted the independence of the East Pakistan, and they wanted that East Pakistan should have also some power where they can take some decision by their own self, and that to preventing the culture and their languages, so that the West Pakistan does not that dominated over any particular portion of the East Pakistan. So totally he demanded about the things. After when he demanded for the autonomy of the region, in the 1970 the election will be going, that was occurred, and in that election the Awami League whose leader was Sheikh Mujib, won all the seats in East Pakistan with the majority votes in all the Constituent Assembly of Pakistan. See, you all know that from the Pakistan's governmental, that the government structure from that video. I hope you all get and understand from that content that in 1970 there was the first elections will be in 1956 actually the first election that was started, and after that, after so many military rules, 1970 the first election that was occurred after so many struggles. So when already the the Sheikh Mujib already they demanded for the fair representation in the administration, and finally when it was come in 1970 when the election was held on, it is occurred. In that timing the Awami League, which is known as the party of the Sheikh Mujib, means the Sheikh Mujib who are the leader of the Awami League. In that time the Awami League also somehow the nominated in the election, and you all know that in the West Pakistan domination for the West Pakistan domination, the East Pakistans are totally are not that are fed up with that, and they wanted to get independence from that. So for that reason somehow that the peoples of the East Pakistan, they totally need one representatives or one leader who are always take care of the needs of their citizens and not dominated illegally. So for that reason the Sheikh Mujib somehow is the leader who are always protest against the West Pakistan dominance and try to get the independence. So for that reason the people give all the votes to them. Even during that time, from both the Pakistan, the total number of the votes, it is near about 300 something, 300 like that. So in that the most of the votes are that is won by the Sheikh Mujib, and that is the, you know, that all the major votes are getting by the Sheikh Mujib, and he won the battle not only in the East Pakistan but also in the West Pakistan also. So if the calculation will be in during that time when it is calculated, though it is seen that the most of the votes are, the number of the voting, or you can say the number of the votes are much more in the pocket of the Sheikh Mujib. So in that condition, it is obvious that no government wanted that someone is more getting more votes and get a concern of the people who is against that party. So for in that reason, when this kind of things happen, in that reason the West Pak dominated government, they totally refused this leadership of Mujib, that is a Sheikh Mujib, to convey the assembly. Say when the West Pakistan government, they they saw that all the peoples are concerned and all the peoples are liked to Sheikh Mujib, and they all give the vote, and somehow in the election from both the Pakistan, the most of the majority vote it's fall into the pocket of the Sheikh Mujib. So in that timing, the one thing will be very much clear, that they don't somehow are rejected the people's concern. They cannot remove the people concerned. So for that reason, they totally remove the leadership, or that they totally remove the election, and they are not allowed the Sheikh Mujib to become the representatives of the East Pakistan by refusing its leadership. So by this way you can understand that what are the scenario of the dominance and how the power of the West Pakistan government, that they are totally refused after after getting to know the people's things or the people's concern. And afterwards, not only they are refused the leadership, but as well as the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman also arrested by the West Pakistan dominated government, and from there the journey of the civil war was started. So you can say that the Bangladesh, East Pakistan and West Pakistan, the conflict which was arises between both this part of Pakistan, that was first arises in 1970, and from that period we can say the civil war was started, where the peoples are totally not agree and not accepted the West Pakistan's government tortured, or you can say dominance. And also during after the civil wars, the people called for the independence movement, because they very well known that only after getting independence they get to their freedom, they get their own their rights, their fundamental rights, and also they can live in their country in a peaceful manner without any imposing the that the government who are totally imposed and illegally they are dominated. So this is a area, you can say this is the reason behind the peoples who are eagerly wanting their autonomy, their independence, and they get into the independence movement after the starting of the civil war, when the West Pakistan are refused and arrested the Sheikh Mujib, who wanted the autonomy of the region of eastern region of the Pakistan. Now after that, this is a picture which you have seen in this here. This is again after arresting the Sheikh Mujib, after so many times the military rule also come upon the Bangladesh again, where this person is who is known as Yai Khan. So under the General Yai Khan, the Pakistani army, they tried to suppress the mass movement of the Bengal people. So in the West Pakistan only, in the West Pakistan now, the General Yai Khan take over the part and take over the government, and under that this general, they start making the armies, and they try to impose their power upon the East Pakistan people, and they try to destroy, they try to suppress the mass movement which is arises during the time of the civil war for the autonomy of the Bangladesh, or for the autonomy of the East Pakistan. So they try to that General Yai Khan, he tried to make the army and to protect, to suppress the people, those who are doing against the government, those who are going against the West Pakistan government. Then thousands were killed by the army, and large scale people were migrated in during that time. That is the timing when we are talking about the 1971, 70 to 71. Within this particular 1 year, where the people started the civil war, they wanted the independence, and in during that only time, the Western Pakistan, they are dominating the people. They are suppressing by the forces, by the army, over the peoples, those who are doing the protest. And that is the particular time when the lots of peoples are killed in during that civil wars, and lots of peoples are migrated from the Bangladesh to India and take a shelter in India as a refugee. And that's created a huge problem for India, because you all know that in during that time, India is also not a very developed country. Even it's not a very developing country. It is somehow between the least developed and developing countries, where it's recently, as after divided, and during that time the Indira Gandhi was the government, make a government, or you can say that during that time Indira Gandhi was a prime minister, and for that reason, and in 1971, in that timing, there's a lots of problems arises, where the monsoons problems are there, that the money valued will be that will be declined, and lots of things are where arises. So in that timing, already India is suffering a lots of things. So in that meantime, when lots of people, more than the thousands and lakhs of people, those who are migrated from their own country, Bangladesh, and they are migrated in India and take a shelter as a refugee. So it's very difficult task for the government to fulfill, to give them settled in our own country, and to fulfill all the needs of that peoples, their food, their the different small things, their shelter, jobs. So lots of things are there. So in that timing, the Bangladesh peoples are migrated, the East Pakistan people are migrated in India, and which create Indian government in a very problematic area. And for that reason, the government of India supported the demand of the East Pakistan by helping them from the finance and military. But after so many problems suffered by the Indian government, still the Indian government, when the East Pakistan government asking for the helping of to help them, in that timing the India supported the people, and that they are helping the people of the refugees by giving and also as well as the East Pakistan by giving them finance, by giving them military support, so that they will be protest against for their autonomy and independence. This result in a war between India and Pakistan in December 3 to 16 December in 1971. On this basis also there is one movie we have also in our Indian, that is a 16 December, where I don't know whether you have seen or not, but that movie is totally based on this war. Or you can say after this consequences of this one. So little bit connection we get in that movie. So for that reason you can say after this kinds of everything, so finally the war will be as the India try to help the East Pakistan by giving them military and finance. So for that reason we have a war with Pakistan from 3rd December to 16 December, and finally in 1971 we get the Bangladesh get the independence, and our country won that battle. It ended with the birth of independent Bangladesh. So right now from 16 December 1971, Bangladesh finally get or you can say East Pakistan finally get their name, that is as Bangladesh, and it takes a birth as an independent country. See, I give you one picture of Bangladesh constitution at that time. So we have to know that what happened after Bangladesh, that is the independent country in 1971. So let's see that what happened after 1971. After independence in 1971, Bangladesh, they drafted its constitution and declaring that their constitution will be that was based on the secularism, democracy and socialism. So Bangladesh constitution, because they already have suffered about the religion matter, they have suffered the where the representatives are not there, where the peoples are dominated by the military government. They are somehow are not thinking about the citizens' welfare. So for that reason, somehow drafted its constitution declaring its constitution, and that constitution are totally based on upon the secularism, democracy and socialism. So in finally in 1975, Sheikh Mujib again come into an administration, because after getting independence, automatically Sheikh Mujib Ur Rahman was released from the jail, and he somehow get the power to become the administrative of the independent Bangladesh. But in 1975, when the Sheikh Mujib got all the constitution in their hand, the power, so in that timing he amended its constitution, and he shifted from parliamentary to the presidential form of government. So basically, in 1975, the Sheikh Mujib got the constitution amended to shift from the parliamentary to the presidential. So right now, from this we can understand that how much the Sheikh Mujib tried to capture the Bangladesh, because previously he was going against the West Pakistan only to get the get independence and autonomy. But after when they get that, they suddenly are somehow are removing the parliamentary form of government. You all know that parliamentary form of government is very necessary, where president, prime minister and the minister, executives, legislative, all are very much important. So somehow they are shifted the parliamentary to the presidential form of government, so that all the power should be in the hand of the Mujib or the Sheikh Mujib. And after that, he not only are shifting the parliamentary form of government to presidential, but as well as he also abolished all the parties except his own. Means right now he also get a test of the that the dominated government, where he only try to keep its own party, so that no other party will be they will come as a representative, which is happened in the previously. So for that reason, he is very cleverly abolishing all the political parties, so that no one will be. So finally, when as you all get to understand that he was abolished by all its party, all the parties he banned it, and only his party, that is Awami League, that is he give the permission for doing. As you all know that any political party's leader, those who get the position, they never wanted to lose that. So for that reason, they will do whatever the strategies, using the strategies whatever they wanted to. So for that reason, he also abolished all the parties except his own, that is Awami League. And due to some reason, somehow in politically the issues, he was assassinated in 1975. So finally he was somewhere is murdered or somewhere is killed in 1975. Then afterwards, the new military ruler, that is Ziaul Rahman, won the election and formed his own party, that is Bangladesh National Party, that is in 1979. So one thing you please keep in mind, that after the Sheikh that is the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, when he was his party's name was Awami League. And again, after the assassination of Mujibur Rahman 1975, new military ruler, that is Ziaul Rahman, he was came and nominated, or you can say that come under as a and contesting the election, and he won that battle with his and formed his own political party, that is the Bangladesh National Party. So please keep in mind one thing mind, that as you all get and understand that the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, somehow they are abolished all the parties, so there is no another party rather than the Awami League. So in from that only the military ruler came, and then after won the election, he somehow created the another political party, that is his own political party, that is known as Bangladesh National Party in 1979. Afterwards, he also was assassinated as due to the political issues. And later again, after the Ziaur Rahman, again the military rule take over the government, whose leader was Lieutenant General H.M. Irshad, and who is somehow ruled and governed the Bangladesh as a president for 5 years. But finally, after so many problems and so many struggles, finally in 1991, the Bangladesh follows representative democracy based country. that is a multi-party system. So since 1991, Bangladesh follows the representative democracy based country who is following the multi-party system. So you get an understand about the journey of the thing. So I hope you all understand about this one, that after the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in 1975, when he was assassinated, a new military ruler came, that is Ziaur Rahman, and he formed his party after winning the election, and again he was assassinated. And then the Lieutenant General H.M. Irshad came as a president for 5 years. And finally, in 1991, the Bangladesh following the representative democracy, which is based on the multi-party system. So I hope you all clear about it. Thank you for watching the video.